Faith that refuses to manipulate God. Trusting God without testing Him from Matthew 4:5-7. Have you ever asked God to prove Himself before you obeyed? God, if you really want me to do this, give me a sign. If you're with me, then make this work. What if that kind of faith isn't faith at all, but manipulation? Today we're looking at Matthew 4:5-7, where Jesus shows us what real faith looks like, faith that refuses to test God and chooses trust instead. Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, He will command His angels concerning you." Jesus said to him, "Again it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Notice something important. The devil quotes Scripture. He says God promised to protect you, so prove it. But Jesus recognizes the trap. Testing God isn't faith. It's trying to force God's hand. Manipulative faith says, God, I'll believe you if you do this. God, I'll obey if you guarantee the outcome. But real faith says, God, I trust you, even when there's no sign. Faith doesn't demand proof, it walks in trust. Jesus refuses to jump, not because he doubts God's power, but because he trusts God's character. Faith isn't reckless. Faith doesn't leap to pressure God. Faith rests in obedience. Testing God often looks spiritual, but it's rooted in fear, pride, or control. Jesus teaches us, you don't need to create a crisis for God to show up. Obedience is greater than signs. God doesn't need to be proven. He needs to be trusted. When we demand signs, we're saying, God, you must earn my obedience. But biblical faith says, God, you already have my obedience. Jesus knew the Father was faithful, even without angels appearing, even without applause, even without instant rescue. That's the faith that refuses manipulation. Ask yourself, am I waiting for God to prove Himself before I obey? Am I using prayer to control outcomes instead of surrendering trust? Faith doesn't say, if you do this, I'll follow. Faith says, because you are God, I'll follow, no matter what. The greatest miracle isn't God jumping when we command. It's us standing firm when we're tempted to test Him. Choose faith that trusts, faith that obeys, faith that refuses to manipulate God. Because God is not tested, He is trusted. If this message spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe for more faith-building content, and comment below. I choose trust over testing.